Want to know all about expat insurance in Spain? Well, you've come to the right place. Hi, my name is Jane and I work at Beneficial Insurance in Spain. We are specialists in providing advice and insurance to the English-speaking expats. We're an internet-based company. We cover the whole of Spain, including the islands, and we have over 35 years experience in insurance in both Spain and the UK. I trawl through expat social media feeds regularly, like I'm sure you do. And one of the main topics of discussion is insurance. And you hear phrases such as, "Oh my goodness, do not insure with such and such a company. They never pay the claims out," and so on and so forth. Now, the thing is, this may be true with some insurers, but people will say it's the insurer's job not to pay out. But your broker's job is to know the terms and conditions to make sure they do pay out. So it's not always the insurers that are at fault. You need a good qualified broker who knows the questions that they need to ask you in order to obtain the correct information. If you've given incorrect information to your insurer, for example, you live in a detached house in the country, but they have your details as you live in a semi-detached house in the town, then you are more than likely going to have problems with getting the claim sorted. When you receive your policy, you need to make sure the information is accurate and correct. Subject to this being done, then there shouldn't be any surprises when you go to enter a claim. We know that sometimes disputes will happen when you come to make a claim. The insurers take one view of the claim and you're taking another view, and this can be problematic. The job of the broker is to mediate between the two and ensure the claim is executed to the terms and conditions of the policy. A good broker will fight your corner if they feel you're being treated unfairly. This channel is here to offer advice and information regarding all things insurance and other relevant, useful information to the expats as well. For example, later in this video, we will even show you how to easily translate a document from Spanish or any other language into your native language or any other language. Firstly, I'm not going to preach to you about the ins and the outs of an insurance policy, the terms and conditions, the exclusions. You don't particularly want to know all that information, and it's very boring. But what you do need to know is how it affects you in your everyday life and what you need to know to ensure you have correct coverage in place. Our job is to educate you a little bit on navigating that maze so you can make informed decisions. As we all know, the weather is changing and doing some crazy things. For example, this video today, it shouldn't have been as dull as this. We should have had super sunshine, but we haven't. So in Spain, we can receive some very extreme weather conditions. We can have a little bit of drizzle, then nothing for another couple of months, or it can be absolutely hammering it down. And then the consequences are a month's amount of rainfall in a very short period of time, which can have devastating effects on our cars, the gardens, our roads, and unfortunately, our houses. So how does this affect you? I mentioned briefly about giving the right information when you take out your insurance. So as long as you've given the correct information and you have insurance in place, and if you did suffer damage to, say, your house, then you can look at making a claim on the policy. In very simple terms, a claim will fall into two categories. The second I will explain later. So the first category could be a standard claim under normal conditions. So if we're using the example of a massive downpour of rain and it's affected your roof and the water has come in through the roof, it's damaged the internal ceilings, the decoration, and even damaged some of your contents, then it would be covered. However, if your roof was poorly maintained and there were missing tiles or the asphalt protecting the roof had failed, then there are going to be exclusions for your claim. The loss adjuster who visits your property, he will advise that there's no cover to the interior of the property until the homeowner repairs the roof at their own cost. Once repaired, The roof would be inspected, and if deemed that the repair was acceptable, the insurer would then pay for the repair or replacement of the interior damage. But you need to check with your own broker if they cover this. Not all insurance policies will allow claims for the subsequent damages if the cause was maintenance or wear and tear, but we do with our insurers, subject to you fixing the roof. However, if there was a massive downpour of rain with high winds, so in effect a storm, the wind blew the tiles off the roof and then the rainwater entered, then again, subject to no maintenance issues, the roof itself, as well as the resulting interior damages, would be covered, as this is classed as a storm and covered under the policy. I mentioned earlier that there are two types of claim. I've explained briefly the first type, which is covered by the insurance company. The second type would be classed as a national disaster or an extraordinary risk. Basically, any weather phenomena that is not covered under the general terms and conditions of a household policy. So in Spain, most of us have heard of a gota fria, which is Spanish for cold drop. This is a weather phenomena that often affects the Mediterranean regions. So this type of claim would not be covered by your insurance company. So the big question is, how would this affect you if your home suffered damages from this type of incident? So the first thing is, if you have a Spanish underwritten insurance policy in place, you are covered. The claim would be met by the Spanish Insurance Consortium. So part of every Spanish insurance premium includes a payment to the consortio, and here's how it may be shown on your policy or your receipt. All Spanish policies carry this consortio charge because it doesn't just apply to home policies, it can apply to all policies that have a material damage coverage. The Spanish Insurance Consortium, known as the Consorcio de Compensación de Seguros, which is the CCS in Spanish, is a state-owned entity in Spain that plays a unique and essential role in the country's insurance industry. Established in 1941, the consortium provides coverage for extraordinary risks that are typically excluded from standard insurance policies. When a catastrophic event occurs, the CCS is responsible for managing and processing claims related to that event. This is the bit that affects you, again depending on your broker. If the claim is deemed as a consortio claim, your insurers will advise you that the claim must be referred to the CCS and they will no longer deal with it. Most brokers will take on that claim on your behalf, although it's not a requirement for them to do so, as it's no longer part of the insurance policy. Personally, we view that this is a moral obligation, that the broker should continue with the claim on behalf of their client. Unfortunately, if you insure directly with the bank or a non-expat broker, you will be referred directly to the CCS in order to process your own claim. In September 2019, the area of Murcia suffered a gota fria with devastating consequences. For our clients, we managed all their CCS claims, and it was a very devastating time for many, many people. To be told by your bank or broker you had to navigate the claim yourself whilst having to go through this horrific experience is unimaginable. So beware, if you insure with the banks, this is what could happen to you. Below in the comments, you'll see links for the Consortio website. There's a facility to read this in English. It's really interesting and there's lots of information that could prove useful if you find yourself in this unfortunate situation. If you do find yourself in this situation where your broker or your bank have referred you directly to the Consortio, give us a call, drop us a line or send us an email and we may be able to help you. And lastly, if you find your current policy is issued in Spanish, here's how you can translate the document quickly and easily into your native language. If you have any subject matters you want us to address in a video in the future, or you have any comments regarding this video, then drop us a note in the comments below. Hopefully you've enjoyed our first video, and if you have, then please hit the like, share and subscribe button, and don't forget to tune in to our next video when we will be discussing the do's and don'ts when you find yourself in a car accident here in Spain. Not to be missed. See you soon. Bye.